Hello, thank you for joining us today. My name is John Jaworski, RSNA Director of Meetings and Exhibition Services. On behalf of the RSNA Board of Directors and its staff, thank you for your participation at the upcoming RSNA 2020 annual meeting held November 29th through December 5th. For the first time in RSNA history, its annual meeting will be held exclusively online. We are excited that you'll be joining us. Today, our virtual meeting partner, Freeman, will be providing additional insights to the platform and answering questions which you may have. At this time, I'd like to introduce Diana Conroy, Director, Conference and Events at Freeman.
Hello, my name is Diana Conroy, and I'm going to be your main point of contact during the planning phase of RSNA. Over the following hour, you'll hear from our subject matter experts who will demonstrate the OE Pro virtual event platform, as well as a tool that's going to help you build your environment. So with that, I'd like to hand it off to Kristen.
Thank you, Diana. And thank you for having me go through the Online Event Pro demo today. As Diana mentioned, I am Kristen, and I'm the Online Event Pro subject matter expert, and will be taking you through the exhibitor and networking journey today. Before I start, it's important to note that I am showing the Freeman demo site of the virtual event and not the RSNA branded virtual event, since it's still being developed. The RSNA and the Freeman teams are working really closely together on the final designs, but the navigation will definitely be very similar with the nuances and the brand of RSNA and what makes it special. So as you can see, I'm in the demo site and getting ready to log in. So I'm going to put in my credentials, kristenkoenig@freeman.com, and confirmation. This will be given from the registration process into your email, and I'll click login. This is the attendee-facing view. When I'm logging in, you can see the lobby and the homepage. Again, this will be all RSNA branded with all the specifics in terms of the actual environment that we're building out. And as we're going through this, it's going to be very clear to all attendees that there is the virtual exhibit hall that they can enter. They can click on the exhibitor link, as you can see here, or tile. And as they're entering, you can actually filter by different locations, by categories, all specific to RSNA, of course. So in our demo environment, you can see here, there's about 5 different categories. We filter by location, by different sponsor level, and then you can actually search for certain keywords that are in all of these different exhibitor showcases and exhibit hall. So as you can see here, I'm going to take you on a tour of one of the exhibit booths and point out all the different features and buttons that will be very apparent and specific to RSNA's environment. When I go into AnyFest, and you can see here, it's very specific to this demo environment. This is actually customized to the actual exhibitor and what you input into our content management system, LENND, which you'll get into later on Matt's demo later in this call. At the top of the page, you can see this header banner. You can change the logo, the background image that is blue right now, but you can actually have your own background, the title, description, as well as this web link that can be of your choice. Any social media links to Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn for your company, as well as any PDFs or documentation that you want attendees to download. On the left-hand side, beyond the logo, you can see the location, the product categories, as well as the videos on the bottom-hand side. So depending on your tier and your exhibitor tier and package that you actually purchased, these functionalities and features can fluctuate. So it's very important to note that go back to your exhibitor guide and check out which areas are specific to you and your package. On the left-hand side, you'll see here there's an exhibitor chat. All exhibitors will have this feature. This is something I look at similar to a text message, but in a group sense. So it's not specific to each and every person that's come in. You can't have private conversations. But if you do want to, you can add the Zoom link or the meeting link within our networking environment in this live chat. So if I type in, Hi, I am Kristen. I have a question. You can type back to them and reply within this environment, as you can see here. You can see and pick different emojis, and you can send that over to them. Separately, you will also have many different links or buttons potentially available to you. On the right-hand side in this demo environment, you can see a schedule a meeting button as well as drop a business card. For some of you, there might be availability to have your external virtual booth as well. This will be another button that will appear here if you have that available within your package. So this is an available feature and has a link to your virtual exhibit booth if you have something external that you want to feature or an experience that you're curating during the RSNA experience. The Drop a Business Card feature is something that everyone receives. You can leverage this feature to really help drive attendees to your booth. So some of our clients are actually utilizing this if you're giving away swag or they want to quickly stop by and drop their business card. We call this a fishbowl concept. So similar to the live environment where you have fishbowls where sometimes you promote to draw in attendees to your booth, they can click on drop a business card and this will pull into the lead retrieval reports that you can have after the show. And it will pop up, thanks for stopping by. Separately, there's also 2 additional buttons beyond the virtual external virtual booth as well as drop a business card. And that is schedule a meeting as well as the virtual meeting rooms. And depending on your tier, you will have the virtual meeting room button. Everyone will have a schedule a meeting button. This is within all the different tiers. So this allows you to actually have a scheduling one-on-one at a specific time. The virtual meeting room button is actually a room very similar to any type of web conferencing solution out there where someone can sit in just like you're in person and have a video chat informally with attendees. So there might be 10 people in that room at a time, 5 people, 1 or 2, but it really is that informal networking that you're trying to create beyond the one-to-one appointments. You will also have the representative contact information here, so anyone that's listed within your exhibitor reps can be within the contact information listed on their side. So as I go through, I mentioned the drop a business card, the external virtual booth, but I'm going to go through what schedule a meeting does and occurs, as well as the virtual meeting room. So if you have the ability within your package to have a virtual meeting room button, this will pull up a link to a virtual meeting room. As you can see here, this is a specific virtual meeting room with me in it, and I can show you real quick how this looks. Hi, everyone. And you can invite more people to join this room with you. You can actually show a chat. Hi, everyone. We welcome you all here. You can actually put an emoji. You can share your screen if you need to. You can share a camera, so it can be audio, video, as well as text communication. You can also see all the people who are actually signing into this meeting, as well as the chat at the bottom. Separately, you also have the ability to schedule a meeting. So the key differentiator between schedule a meeting and virtual meeting room, just as I mentioned before, is a virtual meeting room is a very informal networking. You can have attendees pop in and out of that room very informally, but some of your prospects or attendees and clients may want to schedule a private appointment with you. So we have the ability to schedule a meeting, and if you click this button, it will pull up into this link, as you can see here, with your actual booth. This is AnyFest. With your actual virtual exhibit, all your representatives related to that exhibit, any details related to your company, and the ability to request a meeting at a specific date and time. So you can see here, my invitee is Joel. He's the representative I would meet with. and the date, as well as the time that is going to be scheduled, and the virtual meeting room. Keep in mind, very similar to the virtual meeting room that I just showed you, that's the informal networking room that they can all get into. This is a private meeting room that they can actually schedule with each other. And then they can also put a reason why they are going to meet with that individual, and they can send that request. And as you can see here, once I send them the request, those attendees and or exhibitors can have the opportunity to accept, decline, or reschedule. So you can see all the invitees that were invited to this meeting. It's not just one-to-one, it's one-to-many. So you can invite up to 10 into this meeting room. You can share it with more once the meeting link, but you can have multiple people on this invite. You can message the organizer, reschedule it. You can also see past meetings if you have reoccurring meetings with some of your clients. Sometimes I know that happens where you have one meeting one day and then continue the next day. But this really helps you see who's on that invite, who has accepted, who has not, as well as tentative. So all in all, this exhibit experience and virtual exhibit hall is specific to your package. So anything that you see here is all specific to each and every different tier, has the exhibitor chat, all the bells and whistles that you can see here in the top of my browser, the videos, as you can see here below, potentially pre-recorded, the representative contact, as well as 4 potential buttons: the drop a business card, the external virtual booth, the schedule a meeting, as well as the virtual meeting room. I'm going to then take you through the full networking experience. Scheduling a meeting and virtual meeting rooms are super important to the experience within the exhibitor virtual exhibit hall. But as you can see here, I can get in to schedule a meeting with an exhibitor through this link. But what if you want to set up a meeting with other attendees and do a search functionality, which is very key to networking? So you can get here in 2 ways, which is why we make it very intuitive. You can get here by clicking on the schedule a meeting button, and that will pull you into this environment where you can see the pending meeting or requesting a meeting. You can chat with that specific exhibitor here. So it's, again, another live chat, more information and more communication with the attendees and the exhibitors that are within this environment. I can say hello, and that will be posted, as you can see here, and all my connections on the right-hand side. But you also have another option. As exhibitors, you don't just have to be within your booth. I know sometimes during the live event, you have informal networking happening all over the show floor as well as externally. So we have a way, without going through the booth, to also go through the networking option. This will be in the header as well as a different module and tile within the RSNA experience. When you click on networking, it will pull up a full end-to-end experience. And this is the AI matchmaking engine. So it's not just for those one-to-one meetings where you know who you want to meet with, but it's also giving you curated matches depending on your profile and registration. So if I'm Kristen Koenig and I really love this type of product line or this type of company, this is specifically curated to me, very similar to AI and how it works today on our smartphone devices. So as you can see here, this is everyone who's recommended for me. I can come in and click on the person, Ray Johnson. I can actually show interest with him. I can request a meeting. You can see who's interested in myself, my interested list as well. But if I'm interested with someone, you can show interest, which I did, or I can request a meeting. You can also see who they are actually associated with. So most exhibitor reps, obviously with one company, they will be associated to, but I can request a meeting with Joel. So it looks very similar to the actual schedule meeting button, in the virtual exhibit hall and virtual exhibit booths. You see Joel, he's the exhibit rep on what the booth is, as well as the company information that I'm interested in, and then scheduling an invite, a date, a time, and a virtual meeting room, and a personal message. I can go back and you can see here, there's a mixture of recommendations that would be exhibitor representatives, also visitors, also known as attendees, and then also exhibiting companies that you can see here, like Salesforce or Facebook, and these are just examples that are listed within the recommendations. You can also see on the left-hand side who's interested in you. So it looks like Ted McGregor is interested in meeting with me. I can chat with him to see what he wants to chat about, or I can view a meeting that he requested to meet with me on. I can also see all of his information that was coming in from registration. I can view the meeting request and I can send that to him. Meeting request has been sent. It looks like I'm awaiting a response, and I can reschedule that if needed and change the time, or I can wait for him to respond. I can also add an invitee. So if I add Megan Murphy, it looks through all the invitees. I can add her to that meeting, which is great. And I can say, I would love you to join us. And I can invite. These visitors and attendees, when I send them a meeting invite, will also get an email notification. So they're not missing a beat, even if they're doing other things within their workday. Beyond who's interested in me, which obviously now Ted is a connection, all of my connections are here. So Brianna, Donald, Megan, all the ones that I've been communicating with across the board are all within my environment. You can see everything that I was interested in. So maybe I want to save them but haven't requested a meeting. You can see all of that as well. Anybody that I've skipped. So think of this as your AR recommendation you can come back to if you skipped by accident on a certain attendee that you don't want to meet with. You can always go back and see who they are. You can also see your schedule. So this is super important when you have so many meetings and you're very busy on the exhibitor front as well as an attendee. So as an exhibitor, you can see your schedule as well as an attendee. You can see I have a meeting here with Megan and Ted, and I'm waiting a response. It is a virtual meeting. These virtual meeting rooms, due to security, will open 5 minutes before the meeting starts. So 5 minutes before this time at 12:50 a.m., this meeting would open, and then we can all join in to chat and network. Similar to below, you can see this meeting that's also pending. I can accept, message, reschedule, or decline that meeting. Visitors, also known as attendees, you can see a great search area here. So beyond the recommendations based off of the profile, you can see all the name, status, location, company, everything that RSNA provides from a registration perspective and has that ability to, can be shown here. This really helps for everyone who wants a quick search, especially when you're looking at prospects. I also look sometimes in mobile apps to do this, but in the virtual environment, we have this search functionality here where you can search the company, the job title, the company size, really any of the key filters that RSNA provides. Again, this is in our demo environment, but they will have everything curated to RSNA once that is launched. This is where I will see all the exhibitor reps, so all the exhibiting companies that will be in here as well as the reps, and then any of the exhibitors and the companies that are in here as well. Separately, you can also look at the very end to change your profile. This is all pulling in from registration, but if for some reason you want to change some of these items like your objective or a summary about yourself, don't forget to come into here and build out your profile. It's super important for everyone to have a profile image. I can't say that enough. I would also say it's very much like LinkedIn. You know, you're very attracted to pictures and photos, so definitely come in here and change your image if you don't have one already as soon as you get access to start networking. You can also mark your availability. So if you have certain meetings or times of the day that you're busy, you can come in here and mark that as available or busy. When you're scheduling a meeting, that automatically marks you as busy. As you can see here, my schedule's getting full, but you can come in here and customize that availability as well. Last but not least, you can also see your notifications. So anything that's coming in of people who are showing interest in me, as well as rescheduling a meeting that Brianna wants, and Lauren has requested a meeting with me. All those notifications can be found here. Overall, we're providing a really seamless experience for exhibitors and attendees. Networking and exhibitors go hand in hand with one another, and we want to make sure we provide that crucial experience. Throughout all of this is going to be curated to the RSNA environment, and our teams are working very hard to finalize that design. And please contact and look at the exhibitor guide for more information about your various packages and which features apply to what. And that really wraps up all the exhibitor networking functionality, and we really, truly appreciate your time today. Now, turning it over to Diana.
You've just learned about OE Pro, our virtual platform that will allow you to showcase your products and services and connect with your audience in a virtual exhibit environment. Now, I'd like to hand it off to Matt, our LEND subject matter expert, who will show you how to create a virtual exhibit using LEND.
Hi, my name is Matt Beller. I work for Freeman. Today I'm going to show you how to fill out and upload your collateral for your exhibitor page through the LEND platform. You will receive an email with a link to the portal page, and it will look like this. You'll put in your email address. I'm just going to put in my test email address. Hit next. It's going to prompt me to set my password. And we'll hit continue. Here you'll just see the name of your company. You'll click that. And you're going to have two basic buttons on the page. You'll have a form button and a preview and approve button. In this case, I'm a premium exhibitor. If you're a platinum or a platinum plus, you may have an additional form. You'll get more information on that in the future. So I'm going to start on the form, fill this out. So we're just going to go through here and fill this out. I'm just going to give you some tips and tricks and do's and don'ts. Most of the stuff is pretty basic. We're going to start in the description. You have the option of just pasting in your standard text. So I just put some generic text in here. If you need to have a little bit more formatting control, you can come up here and click this little HTML editor. And I'm just going to delete this out. Paste my text in here. And you can do things like bold, that kind of thing. If I wanted to bold a word, I hit bold, and you'll see that it puts in the code up here for us. You can use any of the tools up there if you need a bullet list or something like that. If I just put line 1, line 2, line 3, just for demo purposes, highlight that, and maybe I bullet list it. You can see it builds out this list code for me. So then once we're happy with it, we can just copy this code over here on the right side, and we'll just paste it in here. Let me clear this out. I'll paste it in here, and we'll just move on to the next thing. At the end, we'll submit everything, and then we'll get to preview what that formatting looks like. And you'll get the opportunity to come back in here as many times as you want and make changes, submit new collateral, all that stuff. Nothing is going to lock you out until the deadline. So up until that time, you can just kind of you can experiment and add things as you get it. If you have collateral that comes late, that kind of thing. So you put your company web address in here. This web address will also be associated with your logo on the screen. When they click the logo, it will lead out to this web address. Country-wise, I'm in the United States. You can kind of just start to type and it'll search through and grab what you're typing. Product categories, these are just going to be the products that are associated with your company. This is going to be used for filtering purposes, on the exhibitor listing page. External 3D booth URL, you may or may not have this. It just depends on your tier package. This doesn't have to be filled out. It's really up to you if you're just gonna, if you're gonna use it or not. So third party 3D booth. This would be if you're not, if you're premium, you can put in a third party 3D booth that you've had built. I know the Platinum Plus, they get a virtual booth. If you're not planning on using that virtual booth and you had another company, you've contracted with another company to build a virtual booth, you would put that URL here. These two fields here will not populate on the preview screen, so don't be alarmed if you don't see anything like button-wise. It's just not built into the preview functionality. You will get to see what the button looks like based on like the schedule meeting button. They'll all be stacked there on the right side, and you'll get to see that here in just a little bit. So then we come over to branding. I'm going to upload a logo, PNG, JPEG. Needs to be a finalized file. No EPS, no AI, no PDF. It needs to be a show-ready file or a web-ready file. File name-wise, I would get rid of any weird characters, £, +, stick to alphanumeric, and dashes or underscores are fine. Get rid of parentheses, any weird characters that aren't necessarily a web-friendly character, and that'll help you avoid issues. So we'll upload exhibitor banner, same thing. Again, depending on your tier package, you may not have this option. If you have a virtual booth, you won't need to upload a banner because your virtual booth will be taking place of that banner. This is not the people for the booth representatives in GRIP. This is just purely for contact information. If an attendee wants to just grab an email address, it could be something generic. It could be like salesrep@company.com. Doesn't have to be a personal company email address. Display, contact, sort. This is just a number, 1 through however many you get. So if you want to ensure that somebody's always sorted first at the top, you just put a 1. If you want to be sure that somebody is sorted at the top, you'll put a 1 and 2, 3, so on. Moving on to social media. If you have social media accounts, you'll place those here. Whatever you put in here will populate on the screen as an icon. If you leave it blank, the icon just won't appear. I'm just going to put in a fake Facebook link. You do want to start with HTTP or HTTPS. Don't start with www. Try to add the full path. It'll help keep things from being broken. Video streams, YouTube, Vimeo hosted. Make sure that it's not private. It needs to be either public or unlisted in your settings within the account on the video settings. If it's private, then it's going to give you kind of a thumbnail error on the page. It'll say something like, this video is private, can't be viewed remotely, or something like that. So if you have that kind of issue, go in and check the video settings on in the preferences on your YouTube account or the Vimeo account. I'm just gonna paste in a URL here just so you can see it on the preview screen. Company collateral, this will be like your PDFs, Word document. You'll just attach it, one file per slot is allowed. Again, these are going to be your downloaded files. And then at that point, once you're kind of done and feel like you've got everything you have at that point, you'll just hit submit. Go ahead and ignore the save and submit later. Just submit. It's not going to lock you out. You can still come back and make changes. If you save and submit later, it doesn't fully write things to the database for the preview screen. So like your display contacts won't display correctly. So just stay away from this button. Again, it's not going to lock you out. Just go ahead and submit, and you can still come back through here and make revisions. After you're done, you'll go back to the home screen in the portal, and we're ready to preview what we've done. So we go into the preview screen. We can now kind of see what things are looking like. We can see our formatted description, our social media, the brochure links that we created. We can see the schedule a meeting, drop a business card. These are basically the button formats. So there could be other buttons stacked here just depending on your tier package, Zoom URL or the 3D booth button, virtual room will be here as well. The main thing we're looking at here is we're just looking to see if there's any major formatting issues. Does our banner look sized correctly? Does our logo look okay? Are our videos loading? If your video is black, if the thumbnail's black and it says this video is private or something like that, that means you may need to go into YouTube, into the preferences for that video and set it to unlisted or public, and it cannot be listed as private. Unlisted is the best method if you're trying to keep the general public away from the video. Unlisted means it's a public URL, but it's not searchable. So someone going into the YouTube search will not be able to find the video. If we saw some formatting issues, we would just go back into the form. As far as like in the description, to make more changes, you can do that by clicking Edit Profile. That takes you back into the form. This approve button up here it's really just kind of a status button. You should hit it eventually before the deadline. This just kind of alerts us that you're pretty much done with it. If you hit it early, it's fine. It's not going to lock you out. So if you think you're done, go ahead and hit it. It'll just kind of alert us and give us the opportunity to kind of preview your stuff and look at what you've got set up. But it does not keep you from making changes. The only thing that's going to lock you out is when those forms close at whatever the given deadline is. Again, Platinum Plus, Platinum, your page will look a little bit different if you're utilizing the virtual booths. You'll also want to take a look at the exhibitor workbook. You'll be sent a link for that in your welcome package, so be sure and take a look at that. There's a bunch of little things in there spec-wise for the layouts and just general information that can help you as well. So be sure and take a look at that. Thank you.
Thank you to everybody for the great overview of the Freeman platform. Before we answer your questions, I'll be reviewing some helpful exhibitor resources and important dates. First, I'd like to review the ARS 2020 meeting schedule, which is also found in your exhibit workbook shared on September 28th. Live RSNA programming will be held from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Central Time on each day, Sunday, November 29th through Saturday, December 5th. Virtual exhibits are accessible 24 hours a day, and attendees look to interact with your booth staff between 8 a.m. and 6 p.m. Central Time. RSNA annual meeting will begin each day at 8 a.m. with a daily opening, an overview of the day's activities. Additional time slots throughout the day will hold educational programming, plenary sessions, and industry presentations. Each day between 12 and 2 p.m. Central Time will be a dedicated industry hour focusing on exhibitors and a technical exhibition. Pre-show and after-hour industry presentations may also be held in the morning between 7 a.m. and 8 a.m. and the evening between 6 and 9 p.m. Central Time. On Monday, September 28th, exhibitor registration opened with our new registration partner, CDS. They've been great to work with, and I think you'll enjoy working with them too. You'll find a link to the exhibitor registration through your Map Your Show exhibitor dashboard. One key feedback RSNA received when we launched the virtual booth packages was a low number of complimentary exhibitor representatives per package. We heard your feedback and increased the number of complimentary exhibitor representatives in each package and lowered the over-allotment fee. A new exhibitor partner with RSNA is Envites. We're excited to be working with them. As a leader in the industry, Envites provides exhibitors with customized meeting branded invitations to share with your current and prospective customers. This site is also available through your Map Your Show exhibitor dashboard. These complimentary invitations include 5 email templates for use within or without the system, various digital banners to use on your company website or email signature, digital flyer for use by your sales team, and a simple, easy-to-use social media posting tool with meeting branded imagery. I hope you enjoy this new complimentary tool. The RSNA 2020 registration list is now available for rent. You can access this site through your RSNA registration portal. As in the past, 2 list types are available. Mailhouse, to be shared directly with your mailhouse for postal mailings, and registration names with limited data fields for internal company use. Contact information such as email address will not be available with either list rental. New for RSNA 2020, the registration list can be self-filtered using the CDS online solution. Filters include state and province codes, country, registration categories, professions, subspecialties, and interests. Rental fee is 15 cents per name. Minimum order is $75. Various RSNA 2020 promotional opportunities are also available to confirmed exhibitors. These opportunities include pre-show promotional opportunities, thought leadership opportunities, and digital offerings. To learn more about these, please contact Lisa Lazzarato, RSNA Assistant Director of Corporate Relations. Participating in a virtual meeting doesn't have to be overwhelming, and RSNA will assist. RSNA will be hosting 4 additional webinars on Webinar Wednesdays to assist with your participation. Our next webinar will be held October 7th, titled Effective Virtual Trade Show Strategy Part 1, Quick Tips to Build Momentum and Boost Your Productivity, presented by Robin Davis, founder of Exhibitor When I Need Help. On October 14th, Freeman Data Solutions will be providing an insightful webinar titled Use Research and Data to Optimize Your Exhibit Performance at RSNA. The following week, October 21st, Cision VPO will be discussing how to promote your RSNA exhibit, tools and strategies for event marketing and media relations. In the last week of October, Robin Davis returns to share part 2 of her Effective Virtual Trade Show Strategy program, Quick Tips to Increase Engagement and Quantify Your Results. Please mark these dates on your calendars and hope you can join us for Webinar Wednesdays. Lastly, I'd like to share some important dates and deadlines. Starting with October 19th, which is the deadline for the Helios virtual booth assets to be uploaded with Freeman. On November 2nd, the RSNA 2020 event program website will be launched with a meeting program, complete exhibitor list, and networking opportunities within GRIP. November 4th is when all your assets will be uploaded with Freeman. And again, RSNA 2020 will be held live Sunday, November 29th through Saturday, December 5th. And the event will remain available on demand through April 30th of 2021. At this time, I'd like to begin the question and answer part of the webinar with our subject matter experts from Freeman and Helios. Thank you again for joining us today.
Perfect. Thanks, John. So thank you, everyone, for submitting all your questions. I'm going to go one by one and answer with our subject matter experts who are on the line. So the first question is, Julia, can we link to the booth from banner ads, emails, etc., or do attendees have to navigate through the virtual exhibit hall to visit our booth? This impacts how we drive traffic to the booth. And Matt Franklin, can you answer that question?
Yeah, most certainly. We can definitely link to your booth directly from any of the ads in the website. That URL will be determined after your booth is created, and then we, as the Freeman team, will put that into your ad space.
Great, thanks, Matt. Next question from Fred. Can the banner be separated in two sections with links to two different URLs? Matt, do you want to take that one as well?
If you are purchasing two different ads, sorry, my apologies. That's about the booth. No, it cannot be separated.
Thanks, Matt. This is in relation to chat, Matt, another one for you. Next couple questions, actually. Are there chat reports that can be ran daily? Does it clear reset during the event?
There are no daily chat reports, and it does not clear.
Thank you, Matt. And so just to be clear, this is a live chat, just like text messaging. So it's a full group chat throughout the entire event. For the chat, can each exhibitor individual chat, or is it just one chat for entire company? Matt, do you want to take that?
That anybody that's on the page would have access to that chat. So say you, or as the individual, or you as a company could respond to people there.
Great. Are exhibitors able to visit other exhibitor booths? Matt?
That's correct. RSNA is elected to not, or to allow everybody to visit all the pages.
Yes. So just like the exhibit show floor, you have access to go around, and very similar to the virtual environment. And this is a great question from Haley. Is the video chat a Zoom call, or can we provide our own video call link? Matt, this one's again for you. I think you're on mute, Matt.
Sorry, my unmute key wasn't working. So on the booth page, you'll have the virtual meeting link. There you can provide your own Zoom URL or any other service that you'd like to use, or we will also provide a whereby room for that. So if you don't want to use your own, we do have something that you are getting included in your package, but we realize that the whereby system is a basic video room where you might want more features that Zoom or WebEx may provide.
Great. Thanks, Matt. So whereby was what was recommended for live meetings. Do we need to purchase a license for this? Matt, do you want to take that one? Similar to last question.
Yeah, just to segue off the last one then, it would be included in your package, so you would not need to purchase a license.
So Brandy, this one's for you. When scheduling a meeting in the networking module GRIP, can we choose our time zone?
The time zone actually is already set. It's actually tied to the time zone of your actual system on your, the machine that you are utilizing. So that will automatically sync up. If you are in Central Time Zone, the meetings will show up for you in the GRIP system in the Central Time Zone, Eastern, Pacific, so forth.
Perfect. Thanks, Brandy.
No
And I
problem.
think the next few will be for you, so you can stay on mute. In the scheduling meeting function, can the list of representatives or available people be changed daily?
This is something that would have to be handled manually. So within the GRIP functionality, each representative has the ability to modify their own availability. So in the event that they want to not be available for a meeting, they would just change their availability for that day. So when the user goes to schedule a meeting, that person would not show up because they don't have any actual times to be scheduled with.
Perfect. And can we schedule meetings ahead of time or only during the exhibit?
This is actually something that is going to be dependent on what the RSNA team has decided for you all. It is possible once you have access to the system, you will have access to schedule meetings. However, the meeting times are determined by the RSNA team.
John, do you want to piggyback on that?
I do, yes, thank you. So as we shared earlier, the GRIP platform will open beginning November 2nd. So at that time, meetings can begin to be scheduled, but the meeting could only happen during the RSNA live event beginning 8 a.m. on Sunday, November 29th, and will conclude at 6 p.m. on Saturday, December 5th. So those are the times that the meetings be scheduled anytime in those windows, only during live dates, but you can begin scheduling them starting November 2nd.
Perfect. Thanks, John and Brandy. This is a really great question. Will RSNA professional attendees have training in advance like you are providing to exhibitors so they can feel comfortable with the platform, specifically networking? Brandy, do you want to take that?
The opportunity to provide that training is available as well. Again, this is going to be dependent on the scheduling that the RSNA team provides.
Yes, but in summary, yes, we are providing recordings, and today we will be sending this recording out as well at the end of our meeting today. Do all invitees need to be registered? The answer is yes. They will need to be registered within the RSNA experience. Brandy, I think this one is for you in the networking rooms. Is there a screen share option for these virtual meetings?
Yes, there is screen share availability. All of the functionality that you would have in a typical Zoom type meeting is available. However, the record functionality is not.
And this question's also related, is does the schedule a meeting link to Calendly, or is it within the networking platform?
It's actually within the networking platform.
Yeah. And this is crucial for adoption. We want to keep as much in the platform as possible. So all the schedules link back to the networking solution. Great question. And this is probably the last one for you, Brandy. Which information from RSNA event registration pulls over to the networking profiles and GRIP?
So it is very dependent on the questions that are provided at registration and that RSNA has determined. Most standardly that pulls into the system are the attendee name, company title, and any specific things that, product categories and that sort of thing that they have identified at that point.
Great. Thanks, Brandy.
Mm-hmm.
And John, this question is for you. I see the deadline is November 4th to upload content to the virtual booth. Where are the specs and collateral and videos, size, formats preferred so we can utilize that?
Absolutely. So on Monday, an email was sent out to the primary contact of each exhibiting company. And in that welcome email, was a link to about a 45-page exhibitor guide, which goes detailed steps on how to upload your content along with specs and sizes. So if this wasn't received for any reason, please email us at exhibits@rsna.org, and we'll make sure we'll get this over to your company.
Perfect. Thanks, John. Brandy, another one, I thought we were done. Is the GRIP platform what attendees would use to schedule a meeting with a vendor within the RSNA experience?
Yes. So the experience works both ways. Exhibitors or vendors can schedule with attendees, and it works the other way as well. Attendees can schedule with vendors just the same.
Yes. So it's an all-in-one solution. And when setting up a meeting, Brandy, can the meeting be added to your local calendar?
Yes, it can. When the meeting is scheduled, it actually sends an email to the email that is on file. So in our case, it will be the email that you registered with. So an email will be sent to that address once it's confirmed, and you have the option to add it to your own personal calendar from there.
Perfect. Great. Great question. Are we able to pull reports of meeting requests during the show? We are hoping to view all requests regardless of who attended. Brandy?
So within the GRIP platform, you can see your schedule. So you can see all of the requests that have been made. Also, the RSNA team will have access to the meeting requests that have been made and should be able to provide that to you as well.
Great. And we just have a couple more because I know you have to drop. If we include our location in our profile, will it change our time zone in the meeting request form?
So no, your time zone, as I mentioned before, is actually tied to your system time zone on your machine. So that is how it is affected on the actual GRIP platform, the time zone that you see there.
Mm-hmm. Great. This is a nice question. Are there filters on the exhibitor page within the networking solution GRIP? And the answer is yes. This was determined by RSNA. There are filters and search functionality within the solution. One more for the profile. Which fields did RSNA enable in the GRIP profile? Will the same information will be collected during registration and integrate into the profile? Brandy mentioned this. This is dependent on what is pulled in registration, unique to RSNA. So you'll see that all the information within GRIP once the meeting goes live. And Matt Franklin, this question is for you. Can we link to the presentations we are doing in the Innovation Theater? I believe this is in the exhibitor section as well as the presentations that exhibitors are doing.
You can link, however, anybody who follows your link will have to be registered for the meeting and log in prior to going to the page. To get those links, you can work with your RSNA representative helping you set up those sessions.
Great, thanks, Matt. This is a good question. Does the address that someone registers with have a factor in the matchmaking of meeting attendees? So if someone registers with an address in the West Coast and a customer that comes from the West Coast, the two can connect. Does it not matter? Whatever's put within the registration is how the matching takes place. So it's using AI, artificial intelligence, very similar to Siri on your phone. The more you utilize the system, the more you are networking, the smarter it gets. So we definitely very well encourage you all to utilize the networking functionality as soon as it launches, because the more you use it, the smarter the matching criteria takes. It's a good question. When a meeting is scheduled through GRIP, does it sync with the Google Outlook calendar? The answer is yes. You will get a meeting notification in your email inbox, and that can be added to your calendar, not just within the networking solution itself. one last question for Brandy. I think this is the last one. So did I hear correctly, if the exhibitor invitee invites an attendee to a meeting, they can also invite other people as long as they are registered with RSNA? Are they able to tell these additional people are available at that time?
Yes, they are available. They are able to add additional meeting attendees to a meeting that has been scheduled. However, the first person that the meeting is scheduled with, it will only check that calendar to ensure that the meeting can be scheduled. The additional attendees, it does not do that same check.
Perfect. Thanks, Brandy. Matt, this one's for you, and then we'll go into some virtual booth questions. Can we include hyperlinks in the company description?
Yes. Yeah, you can use the HTML editor and provide hyperlinks within that code.
Perfect. Thanks, Matt. This question is a good question. Will we have the option to add a 3D virtual booth link on the booth? And I believe, Matt Beller, this is a good question for you, but also John probably will want to comment.
Correct. It is tier specific. So Platinum, Platinum Plus, and Premier, I believe.
Yeah, and Philips did purchase one of those packages and will have that option within their booth.
Great. Thanks, Matt and John. And Matt Beller again, is there a limit to how many product descriptions you can have? Descriptors.
Is this on, I'm wondering if this is for the file collateral?
Yeah, I would say related to that or the categories.
Yeah, the file collaterals are tier specific. It looks, John may, looks like 5 for Platinum, Platinum Plus, 3 for Premium, and 2 for Enhanced, and 1 for Standard.
Okay, great.
Yeah, and they're referring to product categories. I do not believe there's a limit in a number of product categories they can select, but the product categories are pre-populated to choose from.
Perfect. This is a good question, and one for Matt and John again. Can we include 2 external virtual booth URLs in the box or only 1?
I believe at this time it would just be limited to the 1 because there's only 1 virtual button.
Correct. Great. And Matt, another one for you. Is there a character limit in the company description?
There is. It's 5,000 is the hard limit. You can actually exceed that in LEND. So the hard limit is actually on the Fusion OEP side. So you will want to use a character counter. I can provide a website. I believe it actually might already be in the form. I'll double check. If it's not, I'll add it to the description help section. But yeah, you want to stay under 5,000, including spaces and including HTML code.
Perfect. And does the virtual booth link have a specific, or platform has a specific format requirements for the company logo? Brooke Ferris, this is for you.
So there is specific formats, and that's in the package that Diana sent out. That'll be really clear.
Great. Thanks, Brooke.
It's also, the specs for the virtual booth are also on the forms for each piece that you're uploading as well.
Great. Okay. Looking at other questions that are not repeats. This is good. And John, this is for you. What is the deadline for getting the whole page ready?
Referring to the virtual booth, there are 2 deadlines. I'm not sure because there's 2 different options in there. One, we have the Helios booth package part of it, so those for the Platinum, Platinum Plus, do have a deadline of October 19th to get the collateral needed just for the Helios part, which would be the hotspots in the video that plays on the top of the page. But the Freeman section on the remaining part of the page, which would be, description, product categories, videos, collateral, and all the other links, would be required by November 4th.
Great, thanks, John. And this is a question related to requesting a meeting. Jack can answer. Is the external meeting link able to say what they're hoping to meet about, the types of products? If you saw in the demo, you can type in a personal message. So attendees can put in what they're interested in speaking about in that area of the scheduling a meeting functionality. Your number. John, this question is for you with the packages. Is there a limit to the number of collateral pieces that can be uploaded to a booth?
There's a limit based on the package size. So I would check the package that maybe you have purchased. Standard receives 1, Enhanced receives 2, Premium receives 3, and the Platinum Plus receives 5. If you do, you get 5, that's correct.
Great. It looks like a lot of questions about the exhibitor kits and how can they get it. John, do you want to answer that?
Yeah, if for some reason something wasn't received, please email exhibits@rsna.org. That was not received. Now, please note it was not sent to every exhibitor. It was because I know we have multiple contacts from the company here on today's webinar. The email was only sent out to their primary contact. So if you're not the organizer's primary contact, I would check with them first. But if you are a primary contact and you have not received the email, please email exhibits@rsna.org.
Great. Perfect. We have room for some more. Through the RSNA exhibit portal, when you sign up for sponsorships, make payments, I added all of our attendees. However, they do not show up in the virtual portal that I was just demoed. How do I add additional people so that there isn't only one contact in the virtual booth? And Matt Beller, this question is for you.
Yeah, I'm wondering if we're talking about GRIP representatives.
I think we're talking about, I'm going to jump in here, Matt, because I say the exhibitor portal where you sign up for sponsorships and make payments, wondering if that's our Map Your Show platform, potentially, where people register to participate in the virtual event and they've added some contacts in there potentially, or if they're referring to the CDS website where they register their staff for the meeting to participate. So, the virtual booth contact on the page is limited by product, by package size. So Matt, please jump in here if I'm wrong, but I believe some packages receive 1, 2, or 3 contacts actually listed on the page. All your company's contacts will not be listed on your exhibitor profile page. Will be limited to 1, 2, or 3, depending on your package size. But all your companies who are registered will be found through GRIP when that opens on November 2nd. So I hope I answered your question.
Yep, that sounds good, John. Perfect. And we have some more here. This question is for Brooke Ferris. Does the third-party virtual booth open up into a new window?
The virtual booths that are provided for the booth and Booth Plus do not open in a new window. They are inside the window that Kristen demoed earlier today.
Perfect. Thanks, Brooke. And to clarify more on that, if that's in the, for those packages that's on the Freeman side or the Helios front, those are in the actual browser itself. If you're linking out to your own third-party virtual booth, that is going to open up a separate tab, but you don't lose your place where you were as an attendee on the main Freeman virtual platform for RSNA. This question is for Matt Franklin. Is there booth analytics available for the booth?
There are analytics available, and each package gets their own dashboard. We will be sharing a link to that at a later date.
And to clarify that, the standard exhibitors will not receive a dashboard if you are a standard exhibitor, and those same metrics that you would receive in the dashboard will be emailed to you post-event.
Great. Thanks, guys. This is a great question for John related to marketing. How are you planning to increase and attract attendance for the attendees?
No, absolutely. We do have a very robust marketing plan scheduled for the 2020 virtual meeting. We have a prospective attendee base of over 100,000 attendees that we've been marketing the meeting so far for the annual meeting. And once they are even confirmed as an attendee, we have a very strong communication plan, stronger than we would have for our physical meeting, to remind them about all the options and opportunities within the meeting platform. I think we have one going on at least a weekly starting very shortly to confirm the attendees. And then during the meeting, we have 2, if not 3 daily emails sent out to registered attendees, obviously promoting all aspects of the meeting, but including the exhibition. And we'll be promoting obviously our industry hours between 12 and 2, where RSNA will be having no conflicting meeting program at that time.
Perfect. Thanks, John. And some more. I think we have 5 minutes left, or just a little over. And John, this is for you. If you did not receive an email from CDS regarding registration, how do you have it resent to you?
CDS registration, an email necessarily wasn't sent out for CDS. What all you to do is log into your Map Your Show portal, and there will be a single sign-on from Map Your Show directly to CDS. So if you have that information, you should go into Map Your Show's exhibitor dashboard, find the tile for exhibitor registration, and it'll get you straight into that portal for you.
Perfect.
If you need that information, please email exhibits@rsna.org, and we'll resend that password to you as well.
Perfect. Great. I'm just scanning some other questions that haven't been answered. Oh, this is a really good one. Matt Franklin, going to turn this to you. How do we direct people to events? For example, if we're on a panel or demo, where do we tell people to go for the event, meaning the attendees, if they want to attract to their certain session or panel or booth?
So you're just to clarify, that's going to like telling them how to get to their booth?
Correct. So like a link or URL promotion.
During your say it's an industry presentation or an innovation theater, you can direct them to the technical exhibits page and where they can find your booth. Or if you're doing AI type things, then that would be in the AI showcase section.
Perfect. John, this question is for you. Will press be included in the networking and other areas around the platform?
Yes, we'll be working with the press as we've had at our live meeting. We'll have a virtual press room for RSNA and exhibitors, and they will also receive access to the virtual meeting and networking opportunities.
Perfect. Great. And John, this is another question for you. You kind of answered it earlier, but to piggyback off of it regarding analytics, can you give us an idea of what analytics are collected for the top tier exhibitors who get those analytics? For example, do we know who clicks through or visits our page or downloads content, or do we only get visitor information on when they drop a business card or schedule a meeting?
No, all analytics are being captured from those that just come in and visit your booth. And if they don't have any interaction with your booth, you'll still receive information on those visitors. But if they do further interaction, such as download a video, watch a video, download a collateral, click a button, you'll get those additional analytics as well too, in both aggregative and also individual level as well. Recently, well, not recently, but we have made a decision that there will be no opt-in necessarily, more opting out for the metrics. So anyone who registers for the annual meeting will be opting into these metrics once they click into your information, and not with a physical button, but we'll automatically be sharing your data with you. And we'll be treating the lead metrics as we do at the physical event, where you'll be receiving similar data as you would if you did a badge scan at the meeting. So you'll be receiving name and contact information and demographics on the visitor of your virtual booth.
Perfect. Thanks, John. So a couple of questions on this, just to clarify nomenclature on here. So Online Event Pro by Freeman, which is the RSNA platform, it is not different from GRIP. GRIP is the networking module within Online Event Pro. Just want to clarify the terminology so we don't confuse you all. It is a very high-end AI matchmaking and scheduling tool and system, and it's interconnected into the experience. Okay, few more for y'all. John, this question's for you. Not sure if you're sharing, but how many exhibitors are attending this year thus far?
Absolutely. We currently have over 125 exhibitors confirmed, and we'll be taking applications to the end of October.
Fantastic. And this question, I think, is for you, John, again. Can we demo outside the exhibitor hours if there is going to be additional meetings one-off with clients or prospects? Can we schedule outside the hours that were set?
Yeah, the platform's open 24 hours on your use as you see fit.
Great. Okay, perfect. And we answered some of these. Trying to see what others. Okay. Lots of questions on fields that are going to be available throughout for easy search functionality related to attendees. So John and Matt Franklin can speak on this. So from registration, what specific type of categories or fields are being passed over? For example, picture, name, title, company, those types of fields, so it's easy for everyone to navigate and network.
Yeah, I think we'll need kind of GRIP's help on this one as well. You know, the data will be captured and shared in the analytics field, obviously once the lead is captured within your booth or your session that you're hosting. Into the GRIP platform, I know we're working through all those details currently. I know the name and institution will definitely be some searchable fields, and there'll be more as well too, but I don't know if I could define them today.
Okay, perfect. Just have a couple more with the last 2 minutes. Matt Franklin, this is for you. Can we provide a direct link to our booth page for promotion?
Yes, absolutely. Again, work with your RSNA representative. Once the pages are built, we can provide those links.
Yeah, and this is crucial for promotion to your current database as well as throughout on your social. So definitely get in touch with the representatives to get provided that link. And this meeting is being recorded, and we are going to be sending this out after, as I mentioned. And a lot of this Q&A is going to be available in the exhibitor guide, so feel free to reference that. We answered just as much questions as we have time today. So thank you so much, everyone, for your time. John, Diana, do you want to wrap up?
I would just jump in quickly here, and Diana, feel free to add anything.
Absolutely.
As well from Freeman. I mean, from RSA side, thank you so much for joining today. I hope this gave you a cleaner overview of what to expect and hopefully help you navigate this new virtual world. One thing that was shared upon, and it was also in the package, if you do have further questions about your page and the site, Freeman will be having open office hours starting tomorrow at 10 a.m. Please check your packet for exact days and times along with a Zoom link so you can join and ask Freeman questions throughout the planning process as well too. And our state representative will also be available during the times to ask us questions regarding the meeting too. So looking forward to working with you on this opportunity.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, this is Diana Conroy, and as I mentioned, I'm going to be your main point of contact If you have any questions, as John mentioned earlier, we did send out an exhibitor guide. My contact information is in that exhibitor guide, and I'm here to help. And I look forward to working with you on this event. Thank you.